Tonight, me and my coworker were assaulted on shift.
I have an update for you guys, and it includes some great information and some not so great information.
At this time, both myself and the other woman who was assaulted have been fired from the restaurant we were working at.
Believe women essentially comes down to not punishing women for speaking out.
If I had to do it again, I would post it on social media again so I could find this guy, because the officer told me if I had not posted on social media, they would not have found him.
So she's a hero.
Because violent people do not deserve to just walk freely with no repercussions. So I stand behind what I did.
Y'all, I don't normally do updates, but I got to do an update on this one because this is this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. So last week I did a video and I reacted to this woman telling the story. I think it was last week. It might have been the week before, but it's been pretty recent. She was a bartender at this restaurant, and her coworker, female coworker, got assaulted by a drunk man in a parking lot for trying to protect his wife from him. Pretty much that's and he took a swipe at her. She recorded it. He took a swipe at her, and then he threw a glass at the coworker, and she like moved out of the way or whatever, right? So that happened. And this is a follow-up to that. This is the follow-up to that. This is this is not, it's not, I just didn't expect it, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Tonight, me and my coworker were assaulted on shift.
I have an update for you guys, and it includes some great information and some not so great information.
To start with the negatives first, at this time, both myself and the other woman who was assaulted have been fired from the restaurant we were working at. I went into my shift on Monday and was immediately pulled into the office and told that all of my shifts would be pulled because of all of the traction I've gotten on social media, which has been super, super helpful. It ended up getting back to the man that assaulted us, and he called my workplace and complained. So at that time, all of my shifts were pulled.
I want you guys to listen. Man, I want you to listen to this. When we talk about believing women, when it comes to these scenarios, right? This falls in line with this. Believe women essentially comes down to not punishing women for speaking out. That's how the whole slogan, that's the idea behind, that's the spirit behind the slogan. It is stop punishing women for exposing or telling their stories and trying to seek justice. Stop being a hindrance to that. Stop punishing women when they speak out, right? Because A, they deserve justice first and foremost. B, here's the other part. B, we don't want to deter women from speaking out, right? We want more women to speak out when they have been harmed. That's a huge part of it. I want more women to tell their stories and to feel comfortable and to know that society isn't going to ostracize them and to know they're not going to get fired from their jobs and so on and so on and so on. So that's what it means when we say believe women. That is what we are saying. Like, that's pretty much it. Believe women. If you don't believe a woman, listen to me. If you don't believe a woman, and that's fine and fair. That's fine and fair. A lot of Black people didn't believe Juicy Smollett when he came forward with his story, and rightfully so. Right? A lot of people didn't believe him. That's okay. It becomes a problem when, before everything plays out, you start to shame them and you start to scrutinize them. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. Same thing with believing women. Before anything happens, before whatever, if you're already jumping to, I need to, point fingers and tell them that they're, and scrutinize their story and blah, 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 blah. publicly especially, that is a problem. That's a part of the problem. Keep that shit to yourself. Keep it real close knit. Talk about it with one of your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no need for us to come out here and be like, liar. I don't believe it. Like you don't have to do that because the vast majority of the time they're not lying. So even if the story don't make sense to you in the moment, just give it time. Give it time. Definitely don't fucking fire them. That's crazy.
Today, I got a call from my manager to come to the restaurant, and I knew exactly what was happening. And I was fired, and so was the other woman. I want to make something extraordinarily clear because I've gotten a couple comments about over serving. And my restaurant's policy is that when we notice signs of intoxication behind the bar or on the floor, because it's a restaurant, right? There are tables, we are supposed to notify a manager. The manager is supposed to pull their drinks, walk them to the door, and call mall security. Both of us told our manager at the time, hey, these guys are showing signs of intoxication. And his response to my coworker was, it's Halloween, let them get drunk. And his response to me was, let them finish their drinks and then they can just leave. We had then served them one more drink after that point because my manager basically wouldn't let us cut them off. It is extremely disheartening that because of my manager's negligence, a man assaulted two young women and we are being punished for his violent actions. But the good news is that because of all the traction I've gained on social media, because of this, because of all of your guys' hints, tips, because of all the comments, because of all the reposts, because of all of the different forms of social media this has been shared on, we found him. And he has been charged with 2 counts of assault and disorderly conduct. And after speaking with the officer yesterday, he had told me because of the mall security footage, it is basically indisputable that he assaulted both of us because assault is threatening someone with immediate violence or danger. And that is exactly what he did. If we hadn't moved out of the way, she would have gotten hit with a glass and I would have gotten hit in the head. We will be following the legal process at this time since we are both continuing to press charges. We should be hearing from prosecutors in 4 to 8 weeks. He unfortunately was not taken into custody. He was just cited and served. But I will keep you guys updated as much as I can be while protecting my safety and my coworkers' safety. And I also want to make another thing extraordinarily clear. I stand behind all of my actions. If I had to do it again, I would go outside with my coworker to make sure she was safe. If I had to do it again, I would post it on social media again so I could find this guy because the officer told me if I had not posted on social media, they would not have found him.
So she's a hero. Okay. This is how we're treating heroes in society now. Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. She's a hero. Let's fire her. She protected her female coworker. Let's fire her. Her posting the video is leading to justice. Let's fire her. Yeah, absolutely. And this is why middle management. This is how like if I were a corporation, I would be very particular about the people that I hire. Very particular, because middle management costs the company so much money. So much money. They don't really they don't make enough money to, I guess, where they feel like they can't lose their jobs, where it's like that much pressure on them, but they also have a lot of power, that comes with that. So the money doesn't necessarily match the power. They have a lot of influence because I've seen this from middle management. I've definitely seen like stuff like this from middle management, like them just taking advantage of the situation completely, having way too much power, being power drunk, yada, yada, yada. And they end up in situations where they put the company in a bad predicament. I mean, like she could really flip she's going to get money out of this, out of the company, guaranteed. That was a wrongful firing, without a doubt. Her and the coworker together fired them both. That's just dumb. Like, why would you? What HR department approved that? You know what I'm saying? Because usually when you want to fire somebody, if you're middle management, you still got to go through HR. You just can't fire somebody on your own. But what HR department approved that? Like, so many people dropped the ball there, and she's gonna get paid, and her coworker's gonna get paid. And like, you have to be really careful of the people you put in middle management, man. they really fuck up. They really fuck companies over. You know, it's ridiculous.
But I will just say, this situation has truly highlighted for me how difficult it is as a woman to report a crime of someone threatening violence against you, how much blame there is, how many pointed fingers there are at you, what a spotlight gets put on you, and a negative one at that. But in the end, I'm tired of letting men attempt to hurt me and letting it go. I'm tired of men threatening my physical safety and them just enjoying the rest of their life. So, yes, I stand behind my actions. I'm glad I posted. I'm glad that everyone ended up reposting. I'm glad I got tips in my DMs. I'm glad that he was served and cited, because violent people do not deserve to just walk freely with no repercussions. So I stand behind what I did. With that, thank you all for all the love and support. I will be keeping you updated as much as I can. And I guess if you know of anyone hiring in Arizona, let me know.
Oh man, she did a great job. She did a great job. She protected her friend. She did the right thing. Like, I agree with everything that she said. If you guys don't remember the guy, I'll show him to you. This was the douchebag that took a swipe at her. Right there, this was him, like right after he had swung at her, or right before. And she got it, you know, she recorded him taking a swing at her. His wife is like off to the side, over there. So like in the video, you see a pan, and actually his wife is over there, and she's like hiding, it looks like, in shame, it looks like. And yeah, look at this dude. Significantly, like probably 80 pounds heavier than that woman, easily. More than that, probably maybe 100 pounds. She looks like she weighs fucking 120 pounds. He looks like he's 220, 225. 100 pounds heavier. Took a swipe at her, threw a glass at the other girl, at the other lady. Yeah, yeah. And they fired her, and they fired her friend for protecting herself from dudes like this. Again, not shocked. Not shocked. Right? Like when it, like now that it happened, I'm not like they did, like they did. Like, no, I can see that. They're, you know, they do that. They do that. I can see that. But man, it's still disappointing. Still infuriating for sure. But yeah, like I said, I hope she gets justice. And everybody, like, this dude, I hope he pays. I hope the manager that fired her pays. I hope the HR department that, I hope everybody pays for this. And she's still so protective, because she doesn't even want to say the name of the restaurant that she worked at, because she doesn't want to like disturb business for her other coworkers. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that. She's a genuinely good person. She didn't deserve any of this.